Hey everybody, this is part 1 in my Velocidrone track editor tutorial series. In this video I'll be covering how to open a new scene, how to place different objects in your scene, how to translate, rotate and scale objects, how to rotate by fixed increments, how to clone objects, how to ground objects, and then how to save and reopen a scene. Okay, to begin, let's go to Track Manager, click New Track, then you can pick one of the multiple scenes. Your probably most used one is always going to be Empty Scene Day, so for example I'm going to select that one now. Now, once you're in the scene, we can look around while holding right click. We can move ourselves left and right and up and down, holding the scroll wheel down. And that's how you're probably going to do most of your rotation and movement. You can also hold down right click and use the arrow keys to fly around, but in a moment you'll see why this is lesser used. Okay, to place a gate, we're just going to make sure we've got the gate section of the asset library open. We're going to pick any gate we want. These multi-GP ones are very common. And place it on the ground. It'll automatically snap level to the ground, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, click on it, and it'll automatically bring up the translation widget. Now, using the W, E, and R keys, we can swap between the translation widget, the rotation widget, and the scale widget. And Control Z can be used to undo any of these moves. Keep in mind, Control Z will not bring back a deleted gate. Not sure why that is, but probably very important to know that. Okay, so in translation, you can move each of the arrows to move the gate, or you can move each of these like little planes to move it in one of those planes. Okay, if the gate is above the ground, we can press the ground button up here to snap it to the ground like that. Now let's press the E key to swap to the rotation widget. We can obviously rotate in all of these axes, like that. If we hold Control down, we can rotate in 15-degree increments. So you can get 15, 30, 45-degree increments to angle the gate in your common orientations. Now, let's press R to get the scale widget. Each of these colored arms will scale in one direction. Just like that. If you left click over this middle cube, you can scale the whole thing uniformly. Now, if we press the P key on the keyboard, we'll move the scale widget from the center of volume, or just the center of the object, to its base. This is handy, so we can keep the ground point on the ground. And yep. Now, another thing to keep in mind, this white little disc in front of the gate, that's the respawn point. So once you've gone through a gate, if you crash, you'll respawn at that point, and that is always on the exit of the gate. So to have an idea of the gate's orientation, which way you have to fly through it, this little respawn disc is always on the exiting side. So in this case, we'd fly from right to left. Okay, now to clone a gate, what we can do is we can click on it. We can press the clone button up the top. That'll clone it in place, and then we can slide the copy away, or leave it in the same spot if you want. Or you can just press Control C while a gate is selected and click anywhere else in the scene, and it'll place clones around the place. That is very handy. Okay, now to save the scene, Velocidrone requires that we have 2 gates and 1 launch block in the scene before we can save. So what I'm going to do is I'll clone the gate. Now we've got 2. To change gate order, when you click on a gate, that's what this little number down here is. It says gate 1. You can change the gate order using this arrow, left and right arrows above the gate number. And for your start finish gate, we can press set a start finish gate. That means your lap will start when you go through that gate and finish when you go through that gate. If this box is not selected, the race will finish on the gate prior to the first gate. Okay, now we've got 2 gates in the scene, and then to add a start block, that's not actually in the gates folder up here, so we're going to click on barriers, and up the top you've got the flat launch pad or the colored launch blocks. Typically I just use the launch pad for simplicity, but if you want to like replicate a real life track, sometimes I use this launch block. Now that we've got the launch pad in, doesn't matter where it is, we're able to save. Just for example, I'll delete it and we'll press save, and it says track must have one and only one start grid. Don't know why, because we don't have a second, but once you add it, now we can save. By the way, that saves in the bottom right corner. When entering the track name, when you're saving via the track editor, there is a character limit. I can't remember exactly how long it is, but I'd keep your track names low. So let's just say YouTube 2 vid for the track name. Keep it something short, or else it'll cut off your name and it might be hard to find it in your track list. Okay, we press save. Now it's saved. We can then press escape and exit out of the scene. And that track will now be in our track manager. So if I go down to Y, here it is, YouTube TubeVid, easy peasy. Now if we want to continue editing it, we can just press the edit button here. We could also rename it. This is handy because if you rename it from the custom track list, there is no character limit that I know of. So often I name it something short in the track editor, exit out, and then name it something longer. Something like that. Done. And currently you are able to fly this track in single player, but until you upload it, there will be no leaderboard. So you can't actually set times on the track how it is. If we press upload, we can upload it as beginner, intermediate, and advanced, and any of these other things. And then once we do that and press OK, we'd be able to, other people will be able to download it. We are able to set times on it. And the last thing I want to cover, let me quickly turn on my radio for this one. If you're editing a track and you would like to fly it without exiting the track editor, you can press F9 on the keyboard and it says overwrite the existing track. You just click yes.
Ready to
and
race.
Then from here, you're able to test fly your track without leaving the track manager. And then you just press F9 again and you come back into the track manager. Okay, that'll be all for this first video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.